Does joy really come in the morning? Well, God's Word says it does. In fact, He gives us pockets of joy daily if we just choose to open up our heart. Stay tuned to hear more right here on Visibly Fit. Hi everyone, I'm your host, Wendie Pett. Welcome to Visibly Fit, a show about being fit, mind, body, and spirit. We all have stories, and stories shared, they can give hope and they can give answers to those that might be in similar situations. Just look in the Bible, it's loaded with stories. Here with me today is a woman that used to share many stories, just never her own until now. She's a former Minneapolis news personality and a pastor's wife. Roxanne Battle is ready to open up and talk about her story in and away from TV news and how faith helped her make difficult choices so she could achieve work-life balance and happiness at a time when she was a divorced, single mom, and the world of television, it was ever-changing. Roxanne, I am so glad you're here. Welcome to Visibly Fit.
Hi, Wendie. You look great.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Thank you.
This is very fun.
Yes.
You have written a book.
A lifelong dream. There it is.
There it is.
A delay does not necessarily mean denial.
That's right. That's right.
It's been in the back of my mind for quite some time now, and now it's a reality.
Well, I am very excited for you, and I love that it's called Pockets of Joy, and that it's small enough to almost fit in your pocket.
I kind of wanted the book itself to be a pocket of joy, you know, the way it feels.
Yes.
I didn't want it to be too long because I wanted, you know, my lady friends and people who are reading the book to be able to feel like they have a sense of accomplishment by starting it and finishing it.
Thank
okay?
you.
I finished a book. I read a book.
I read a book in a night.
Right.
That's good. That's
Right,
really good.
right.
Well, what actually led you to write this book? You said you had it in your mind for a long time, but
So the short answer is that I tell people that I was sort of pregnant with this book for at least a decade.
okay.
But it took me a week of labor.
You wrote this in a week.
Yes. After
Put your mind to something.
filing away stories on my computer and, you know, and just writing little stories and little things that I remember about raising my son over the course of his childhood and becoming a teenager, and now he's a grown man now. I filed all those stories away, and then when he turned 21, I said, I think it's time. And actually, I went down to Florida to see about a family member of mine and who wasn't doing really well, and after he got out of the woods and health prognosis was good, everything like that, I took some time on my own to just sort of defuse from that situation, and I was at a hotel in Clearwater, and God said to me, you're done multitasking.
Ah.
What do you want me to do? One thing. What's that one thing? The book. And so I flew home, cleared my calendar, went back down to Florida with all of those manuscripts and papers and computer files, laid them out on a dining room table, and went to work. And I had the rough draft of that book done in a week.
Wow. You know, that's impressive. That actually gives me hope. I got a few books still left in me, so that's very awesome. Well, you know, who did you actually intend to receive this? Who did you want to speak to when you wrote this book? Who's it made for?
You know, that's one of the things, rules about writing, I think, or advice they give you is sort of write with your audience in mind.
Right.
Not necessarily write because you think somebody's going to read it, because
Right,
you start
right.
saying things you would never say in your life.
That's called journaling.
Right. But just really write with who you wanted in mind. And, you know, the sad reality is that there are a lot of marriages in this country that don't make it.
Right.
And we would want it to be. We wouldn't want it to be that way.
Right.
Unfortunately, it is. And so
And you and I are two sitting right here.
Right. It happened to me. It happened to you. And that's who I wrote the book for. I wrote the book to say, yeah, this crummy thing happened. This bad thing happened in your life. But there is joy in the middle of that mess.
Right. Yeah.
You know, life can get messy sometimes, but that's really, you know, Christ came to clean that mess up.
Right.
And He's instilled in us the ability to see our way out of difficult situations. And so that's who I wrote the book for, to say, yeah, this bad thing happened in your life, but there's joy in the middle of it. You know, in your opening you said, you know, weeping does endure for the night, but joy does come in the morning.
I bank on that every day.
You know, and when you look at God's promises like that, joy comes in the morning. You know, it says in Hebrews, you know, he endured the cross, despising the shame, you know, for the joy that was set before him. I mean, there's going to be struggle, but there's joy on the end of it. You've just got to persevere through and get to it. And I use my book and the very personal, intimate stories. I mean, you're in my living room. You know, you're in my kitchen, you're at my dining room table. It's a very personal story about what I went through. At the time, I was a television news anchor. I was on TV. People thought I had a perfect life. You know, you're all polished and...
You mean you didn't have a perfect life?
Okay. And so I thought I could use that platform to say, look, this is what happened to me. And
here's reality.
Here's reality. And I got through it, and so can you.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's beautiful. I love that. And the analogy or the picture word, that I do a lot of dreaming, and picture words come to mind, but when you're talking about the chaos and finding that joy in the midst of it, I think of like a tornado and how God's in the center, he's the calm in the midst of the storm, and he pulls you into it, and you're sitting there with him, and all that can be going on around you, but you can find that joy with him, and that's exactly what you experience.
Really good. That's a really good picture, and you know, there's a scripture that says, you know, the secret things belong to the Lord, and he will share in Deuteronomy, or I think it is, he says that he will share his secrets with you.
Yeah.
If you listen. Jeremiah, it's Jeremiah. He will share his secrets with you, and part of his secrets is that there is joy in life.
That's right.
If you listen, if you listen for it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that and being with him and listening, you know, how much of a role did your walk with the Lord play in writing this book, and how did that all evolve?
I think start to finish, beginning to end. You know, it started from the time that he said, drop everything and write it. And I did.
That's obedience, and good for you, because sometimes we hear that small voice, right? And we're like, oh, we'll get around to it.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's...
And he speaks in a whisper.
Yeah.
He speaks in a whisper, and we have to heed his word. I'm so glad now. I'm looking at this. The book's been out a few months, and I've done, you know, I've sold out on half of my first printing. I'm looking at going into a second printing. I've gotten,
fantastic.
you know, all this media attention, and you know, wonderful, wonderful things are happening because I listened, because I was obedient. And so, and there's a reason why he tells you to do things when he tells you to do them.
That's right.
And just the timing of how all this supernatural favor has lined up as a result of the book. I mean, I'm just months into it. I'm already talking about going to another printing, and I'm already working on the second book and the third book, and all the people that have come into my life and the things I've experienced as a result of becoming an author. And God knew all of that from the beginning.
And you know, he also knew, because you wrote down, didn't you? These are like a lot of little blogs and journals that you did along the way.
Right.
So journaling is important.
It is.
And so you were able to take a lot of those stories, because you were diligent in journaling, as we all should be doing, and put it into a book that can really help and encourage somebody.
It really was sort of supernatural, because you're right. I had all these stories, and you know, the first time you meet my son in the book, he's not even born yet. And then
I've met him, and he's a big, strapping young man. Yeah.
And then the last time, I referenced him in the book. He's a freshman in college. So how do you take a lifetime and put it between two covers? And it was really, again, very supernatural, because when I started writing the book, the gears just clicked. I mean, it was like God was sitting there in the room with me, whispering in my ear, this chapter should go here and move around this way, and maybe you name this chapter that. And I was sitting there by myself, and in a moment, everything that I thought was random clicked and became into order.
God's a God of order, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I knew, I was so excited, I knew it was divine. I knew I had something.
I love it.
And it's really interesting that you talk about journaling, because that's my follow-up to Pockets of Joy. I'm writing this fall. I'll be out with a Pockets of Joy journal.
Wonderful. Well, that is very exciting. You know, real quick, one thing that stuck out to me, and it's just a fabulous read, and it's enjoyable. I feel like I am right there in your living room, and that I know you very well, besides the fact that I do know you well. But even if I didn't know you well, I do now. But this really stuck out to me, and it stuck out to you when Pastor McIntosh, he said the words that you heard. He said, you are free to be who God made you to be, and God will be with you. And I mean, I'm like, right. God made you to be who you are to be, and He's going to be with you.
We are made in the image and likeness of God.
Right, right.
That's where it all starts.
It does.
And if we could just accept that and receive that.
Yes.
And when I heard those words, you are free to be who God made you to be, and God will be with you, that changed my life.
It's not what others say that you should be doing for your life. It's what God says. I love that. That spoke to me big time. But we have to take a quick break. We'll be right back. So stay right where you are. Have you ever told anyone, go walk it off? Well, it turns out that's great advice. It's great for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hi, I'm Wendie, Pett fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise and wellness system. With Walk It Off Now, it's a 6-week walking workout program. You'll get 6 weeks of online videos right to your email inbox. You get an ebook, a walking journal, plus access to my private Facebook community to keep you accountable. So what are you waiting for? Go to walkitoffnow.com and join me. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm here with Roxanne Battle, and she is the author of Pockets of Joy, and she is nothing but joy. And I just, no, I'm not sweet, I'm serious. You are just a joy to be around, and you've been through a lot in life, and you've managed to find the joy in the midst of the chaos. And so it's a beautiful book that you've written. It's short, it's sweet. We can read it in a day. We feel a sense of accomplishment. But what I want to know from you is what brings you just the utmost joy?
In a phrase, it's when I hear the voice of the Lord. When I know that God is speaking directly to me and He's given me an assignment and I fulfill that assignment. That's the ultimate. My relationship with God brings me ultimate joy. Yes. In a practical sense, it's relationships with those that we care about, those deep, caring relationships, and fulfilling work.
Yeah.
And then lastly, and probably most importantly, is to be my authentic self. When I can be exactly who God made me to be, when I can be who I am, that brings me joy.
I think that's a beautiful answer. I do want to ask a quick thing on that, because not everyone hears from the Lord, or they don't think they do. Do you have a word on that?
He's speaking all the time, in the whisper of a branch or a butterfly's wing. He speaks all the time.
Yes.
And that's why that relationship with Him is so important. To tune in so we can get on His frequency and hear His voice.
You said it, the frequency.
That's
it. Beautiful. Shut everything down and be still, and you'll hear His voice. I love that. Well, do you have just a closing comment of something that you'd really like to share with the viewers that can really resonate with them and bring them some hope in maybe their situation?
When I signed my book, I cite Psalm 16:11. In the presence of the Lord, there is fullness.
16:11, there it is. She's not lying.
And what is the scripture? 16:11. In the presence of the Lord, there is fullness of joy, and joy can be found in the hand, and in the arms, and in the grace of God, and that means we can't underestimate our relationship with Him. He came that we would have life, and we'd have life more abundantly. Yes. It's His will that we experience joy, and that He created joy, He created beauty. And so to come into His presence and to revel in who it is that He made us to be is a wonderful place of joy. It happens all around us all the time.
Yes.
We just have to look for it.
I love that. And we are to count it all as joy. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being on the show. You are a joy, and I wish you all the best with this book. I know it's going to really reach a lot of people's hearts, so thank you so much. All right, bless you. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Pockets of joy are everywhere. We just have to open our eyes and our hearts, and, well, maybe our mouth. So up next are a few healthy, tasty snacks that will surely bring you joy. Do you sometimes think that you're too old, or maybe you're too far gone as it pertains to your health and your well-being? Well, it's not true, because your body is your gym. And I want to encourage you and invite you to go to wendiepett.com, because I have some great free resources for you and some free exercises that will teach you how to use your body as your gym. No matter your athletic ability or your age, you can do these exercises. So make sure you go to wendiepett.com to get your free resources. Before the break, we had Roxanne Battle Morrison with us, and she was talking about her new book and journal called Pockets of Joy. Now, joy comes in the morning, right? Well, joy can also come when we gather around food, but not just any kind of food. Healthy, tasty foods that serve our body best. Now, I get asked all the time what I normally eat during a normal day, and especially about what are the best snacks to eat and why. So, snacks are important, But you should get most of your vitamins and your nutrients from your main meals. If, however, you do need a snack, and I typically reach for one myself, then here are a few that might bring your taste buds some joy, and your body too. Now, I'm all about veggies, you know that. But if you prepare grab-and-go bags for the week, then this is an easy snack that will fill you up, and it gives you that nice crunch and satisfies your hunger. So, fill your grab-and-go bags with sugar snap peas, carrots, celery, broccoli, cucumber, jicama, or just whatever vegetable you like to eat. But veggies are the key. Now, a lot of times you may have certain cravings during the day. Don't give in to that craving that you think you crave. For instance, if you crave chocolate, like most women do, right? Well, then what your body is really asking for is magnesium. So, a great snack to reach for would be just a small handful of nuts and seeds or a small piece of fruit. Now, those nuts and seeds should fit right in the palm of your hand. So it's not like a big heaping amount of nuts and seeds, but a small handful, and that will satisfy your craving, which is really magnesium. Now, what about when you crave breads or toast? Your body really wants nitrogen, and you can get that from proteins. I like to use vegetarian sources, personally. My reason is that meat can be a major culprit to inflammation in the body. Where there's inflammation, there's an opportunity for disease to emerge. Now, a great snack to fill this nitrogen craving are baked chickpeas with seasoning. They are really filling and they're tasty. I love them and I eat them all the time. Now, maybe it's not food that you crave. Maybe it's a soda or carbonated drink. This could mean that you're deficient in calcium. So instead of reaching for that toxic soda loaded with sugar and chemicals, I want you to think more about what your body's really asking for. It's not that soda, it's not the carbonated drink, it's actually calcium. And a good snack would be a glass of almond or cashew milk. That would be perfect. So I encourage you, though, to steer away from dairy options because that calcium can be loaded with harmful hormones and chemicals as well. Now, other great sources of calcium you might not even think about, but it's mustard and turnip greens, broccoli, kale, legumes, and sesame seeds. In fact, sesame seeds are loaded with calcium, and they're great. I usually just sprinkle them on my salad. It's a great little topper for your salad. But since we are talking about snacks here, a great snack choice would just be to make an almond protein shake with kale and a banana and maybe some frozen wild berries. Now don't worry, I promise you will not taste the kale. I feed this to my son all the time. He never knows. He always asks, Mom, are there greens in that? I'm like, I don't know, what do you think? And he never says a thing. So it's disguised, you can't see it, and you won't know it either. Do you chew on ice? Well, that could actually be a sign that you need more iron. I know, you probably just think it's a bad habit, but really, you just need more iron. I recommend fish, seaweed, greens, or black cherries. But again, we're talking about snacks here, so I'll just grab a bunch of spinach, just right out of the container or the bag or wherever I get my spinach, and I just eat it. And I'm telling you, it will satisfy your craving. It may not be what you think you want, but it's what your body wants. And believe me, it does the trick. Dried seaweed strips are awesome too. Seriously, they are. Just make sure you check your teeth after eating them. I'm serious, you might have a little green left over in your teeth, but they will do the trick and fill in the gap for that iron that you're missing. Or just go for those black cherries. Now, if you ever crave salty things, that's usually the one thing that hits me the hardest. This craving has a multitude of meanings, and it could mean that you're dehydrated, stressed out, or in need of chloride. The right amount of salt helps to soothe the adrenal glands and can lower the stress hormone cortisol. And as you probably know, cortisol is a contributor to stubborn belly fat. Salt is important for the body. Without it, our bodies become chemically unbalanced, and muscles and the nervous system, they would cease to function without it, and eventually we die. Well, I mean, we all know, indeed, we're going to die one day anyway, but let's make sure we keep our body balanced until then, okay? All right. Now, a great, healthy, salty snack would be kale chips. Don't knock them until you've tried them. They are delish. Celtic and Himalayan unrefined sea salt have the best electrolyte and mineral value compared to others. But it's important to have, not too much salt and not too little salt in your diet. I like hummus. That's a great snack. You just use those veggies and dip them right in. Something pickled or fermented, like kimchi. You'll get your craving of salt taken care of, and it's a great probiotic source, which is needed for a healthy gut. Now, I could keep going on here, but it just might be way too much information at this time for this segment. So I'll revisit this one again on another show, I promise. Sound good? Okay, let's take a quick break. Stay right where you are, and we're going to be right back in a flash. Have you ever told anyone, go walk it off? Well, it turns out that's great advice. It's great for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Hi, I'm Wendie, Pett fitness and wellness expert and creator of the Visibly Fit exercise and wellness system. With Walk It Off Now, it's a 6-week walking workout program. You'll get 6 weeks of online videos right to your email inbox. You get an ebook, a walking journal, plus access to my private Facebook community to keep you accountable. So what are you waiting for? Go to walkitoffnow.com and join me. Welcome back to Visibly Fit. I'm Wendie Pett, and we're about to get our workout on. Why? Because our body is happy and filled with joy when we move it. Now, one way that I move my body often that I won't be showing you here is dancing. So that's your homework, okay? Dance like nobody's watching for 15 or 20 minutes. Break a sweat. Then I want you to try some of these Visibly Fit exercises that I'm going to show you here today that will help to build muscle and burn fat without using any equipment. And they're just basic isometrics, but it's something you can do anywhere, anytime. Now today, we're really going to focus on the arms and the shoulders. So join me, okay? I want to walk you through each move. The first one is the deltoid raise. Now the deltoid muscle is the muscle that forms that rounded contour of the shoulder, and it's really responsible for the brunt of all arm rotation. It's important to keep these deltoids in shape for functional fitness. So let's go ahead and do this exercise, all right? So what I want you to do is just put your arms in front of you like this. Now you can see them already fully contracted, right? So I'm flexing, I'm contracted. You can pretend like you have weights in your hand if you want to. Now you would practice 8 to 10 of these, but I'm just going to show you them for now. So right here, all right, you've got your arms in front of you, and then you just extend your arms. You see I'm using a lot of tension, a lot of force, and then you bring your arms as far back as you can right there. And then bring your arms back to beginning position, okay? You can see I'm really shaking. I'm putting in a lot of flexion and contraction here. So again, these are great for the deltoids. And the deltoid, it goes all the way around the shoulder, front, side, and back, all right? Let's work on that front deltoid, all right? Let's do a front deltoid contraction. Now, it's pretty simple, and it's going to feel a little strange because it's an isometric. But I want you to put one arm behind your back and grab your hand, your arm right here, and I want you to put this arm in a fist, and I want you just to push against this arm that's keeping this arm from pushing forward, okay? So you're working one arm against the other as you're pushing as hard as you can, all right? And you'll hold that for maybe 15 to 25 seconds. Then you'll go the other side and do it over there, all right? You're really going to feel this in the front of your deltoids. Now, the back deltoid, let's work that for just a second. Again, you'll hold those that I just showed you for 15 to 25 seconds. Same with this one. Now all I want you to do is put your arm right here behind your elbow, and I want you to press into this arm, and again, you're trying to keep it from pushing down, so you're using this one to push and resist against it, okay? So you're using all your might as you push, and again, you would hold that for 15 to 25 seconds. Same with this one, all right? Same concept. And you're pushing. You're really going to feel this. Again, this is something you could do at your desk in the office. This is something that you can do while you're waiting for water to boil, okay? Use your imagination, get creative, and start working your workouts into your day, because really every little thing that you do makes a difference in your well-being. And it's going to help to build muscle and burn fat as well. Now this one is more of a dynamic self-resistance type of move. It's a shoulder raise, but you're going to resist against, again, one arm against the other. And you're going to try to lift your arm up while this one's pushing against it, okay? You will actually succeed in lifting up, but there's a lot of tension, a lot of resistance to a little bit above shoulder height. And then you bring it back down with resistance. Yeah, it's hard for me to even talk because I'm using a lot of resistance. And then you would go to the other side, okay? So it's the same thing. And you would do 8 to 10 of those on each side. Again, we're really working the arms, but especially the shoulders, okay? All right, now this one is a little different. It's gonna take some practice, but I want you to just put your arms behind you, okay? And I want you to grab your wrist from behind, and I want you to try to resist and pull against that wrist, okay? So as your arm is behind you, try to pull up on your arm, okay? The other arm is pulling down. So you're pulling, 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 again, holding 15, 20, 25 seconds. You can really feel this in your front deltoid. Now, you take it to the other side. Work the other arm, all right? Pull, 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 resist. It's gonna feel a little funny at first, but I'm telling you, if you'll start doing these small little movements throughout your day, your body's gonna start responding in a very positive fashion. Now, something else that you can do, if you have a door frame, which we all are walking through doors all the time, you can do a door frame press out. All right, so all you would do is get in between the door frame and press with all your might. So obviously I don't have a door frame here, but I'm using my imagination. That's how powerful our mind is, and I'm pushing against that door frame. If you have an actual door frame, then press against it. Again, hold for 15 to 25 seconds. Do it several times throughout your day, all right? Use that same door frame and do a lateral raise. So what you do is just lift your arms this way until your arms hit the sides of the door and just press and press and hold. You will be amazed once you release after that exercise. You will feel your shoulders working intensely. So it's an awesome, awesome move. Get creative. Now this is one that I really love, and I do it quite often throughout my day, but it's very simple. Again, you can do all of these anywhere. If you've noticed, I haven't moved around hardly at all, just my upper body. So even while you're seated, you can do these, all right? So again, get creative. Now this is a pull apart. All I want you to do is put your arms, cup them, all right? And then I want you to pull with all your might, trying to pull your arms apart. And again, you'll hold that for 15 to 20 to 25 seconds. And you will rotate, all right? And pull, 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 pull. You'll shake if you're using proper tension, and I hope you are. And so again, hopefully you're doing this with me, right? Because this is a lot of fun. Anyone can do this. There's no more excuses for getting in a workout. And your body does work hard when it does isometric type moves. Now this one is awesome. This is a leg pull. It's for your arms and your upper back. All I want you to do is clasp your hands under your leg. So lift your leg up, clasp your hands, and I want you to press your leg down as you're trying to lift your leg up. All right? So you're pulling into your arms and into your upper back, pulling those shoulder blades together. It's powerful, powerful. Again, these are simple. You can do them anywhere. I really hope you learned something new today and that you enjoyed this interview that we had earlier with Roxanne Battle Morrison. And I hope you'll get her book, Pockets of Joy, and her journal. She's got a great journal out. And I hope that you'll find the joy in just the normal, everyday circumstances in your own life. Sometimes it can be hard to do, but it's there. So look for the joy. I really look forward to seeing you same time, same place, right here next time on Visibly Fit. Thanks for joining me.